Ain't I a man? How do one take and fake what being a man looks like, speak like, walk like, act like, to be physically strong, solid tone, to have a voice of thunder, to speak earthquakes in existence, force them to listen, to demand to be superior, not inferior to a man or a woman? Ain't I a man? At only the age of 7, I question what it takes to build a man. As a boy, you're told not to play with baby dolls, as if it's not the same as playing with an action figure. How manly. As if a man means to believe you can walk on water to be identified, or penetrate through the earth as if even Mother Nature could be objectified. To forget manners, to use a woman's body as an object, one you can open up and play with as you please. Man get confidence, no consequences, because man makes the rules. Ain't I a man? When I apologize instead of throwing punches of gust wind that blows the tears from my eyes, because men aren't supposed to cry. Ain't I a man when I tell my homie I love him without saying no homo? Do that make me homosexual? To hold back words like having no voice like a girl? Ain't the worst thing a man can be called is a girl? Father say, say it with your chest, boy. Ain't I a man when I wear super skinny jeans that show my curves? Sway side to side when I walk because it's comfortable, preferable to let another man stand up for me, not because I'm weak and vulnerable, but because it's okay for a man to ask for help. Ain't I a man when I say it loudly and proudly, when I speak unapologetically, not caring about what people think, skip football and start cheerleading, eat cautiously because I want to be healthy? Ain't I a man babysitting Mr. Johnson's 2 little girls instead of going to the movies with mine? When I care more about my GPA than my body count? A man's supposed to take care of his responsibilities. Pick the guns up, aim, and fight at those obstacles that stop him from going to school or getting a job to take care of his family. What is a man? Is it continuously forcing yourself to stay in a closet, too scared and not fit enough to handle being what society labels as different, opposite of a man? Is it being handsome and 6 feet under, having more pride and precaution of life? Guess we men like to skip the line, everyone waiting to die. I am a man.
Growing up, I started fighting in about the 3rd grade. Back then, I had family issues, so I was quote unquote hot-headed and I didn't really take things lightly, so I was just fighting. I fought throughout 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. 5th grade, I remember it was this one boy, he kind of always had something smart to say, so we basically fought like once every 2 weeks, once every week. My last fight was about the summer before 9th grade. It was around where I lived at, and it kind of like, I lived around there for now 14 years. So everybody was out there, they kind of like egging me on, but then they kind of like turned around and fight. I don't know, it kind of wasn't a good look. It was just too much going on. I really wasn't here for it, and I haven't fought since then.
Growing up in a single-parent household, I do think that I was forced to be independent at a young age. Probably when I was in the 11th grade, I got my first job. Getting my first job, I picked up a big responsibility because I had to start helping my mom out with bills. I started paying for everything for myself, and moving on into my senior year of high school, I kept a job. I started to pay my car insurance, and I really just did everything for myself. Because of this, I do think my mom started to respect me more as a man and didn't really feel like she had to help me out with everything, but then made her want to help me out with stuff more. And yeah.
Oh wait, you want me to just talk?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been masturbating probably for like a good, lifetime now. I started masturbating in like, I want to say like 6th grade. So I would be like what, 12 or something then? Probably like a good 12. We don't go by the age. I was probably like a good 12. And when I first masturbated, nothing like came out. Like I was confused. Like was going on, and I watched like this tape that my mother had like tucked away on the VCR material, and I found it and I watched it, whatever. And I would hide it in my room, so like when I go to watch it, whatever, I could watch it, whatever. Anywho, but at first when I started watching porn or whatever, it was straight porn, and I wasn't straight at all. And then I was like, no, let me transfer and use my high-tech device and watch the gay porn. So I would go on like Tumblr or go on like this other website, the X videos, and just find all of the gay porn. And that's when I was start ejaculating. And yeah, but like masturbation is like amazing because who can't pleasure you better than yourself? But yeah, I think that every guy like should masturbate because it's kind of like essential to like it makes it almost is like a stepping stone. Like it takes that step from your childhood and like you just being a kid, or you don't use your penis but to pee and shit like that, and now you're starting to learn more about the parts of you that make you a man or what have you. Or, well, I'm not gonna say that, but you know what I mean. The parts of you that make you you. And yeah, it's almost an essential piece to your lifestyle.
Okay, so growing up, I didn't really have much female. Oh my god, what am I saying? The queen. Don't stop it. You could just edit this part. So growing up, I didn't really have much guy friends because I felt like I didn't really fit in with them. Like they were just worried about like one thing, and they were just in like a different. Well, I was just in a different headspace than they were at the time. So I really vibed with a lot of women, and in my friend group, I had like one close guy friend. And yeah, like guys just wanted to fight and fuck and like just do dumb shit, and I wasn't really here for it. But like transitioning like to here at Morehouse, like it was like kind of a lot for me because I never really been surrounded by like a lot of guys like at one point, and like really truly gain like brotherhood or like all these different fellowships with like people from different backgrounds and stuff. So it's like it's something new for me, but I really do appreciate it because like I've gained like so many different brothers here, and I know I'm like genuinely loved.
So I first started to experience sexuality in itself. I want to say about maybe middle school. In elementary school, you know, it's you fit the norms that your parents and the teachers give you. So boys sat with on blue carpet, girls sat on pink carpet. Boys read books about trucks and cars, and girls read about Barbie dolls. So you're not really too sure when you're growing up. You just fit in that stigma. So it's not until you get into middle school where you start to adventure on your own, and that's when you start going to school by yourself. Your parents not taking you no more. You're sitting with other kids that come from different other backgrounds where they're exposed to different things early. So when I got to middle school, I was able to befriend students who were very sexually liberated at that point, where they were very open and honest about their sexualities and about them having sexual intercourse. With me still being a virgin, I still didn't know a lot about sexuality in itself. So I still was kind of confused on what I like. I was raised around nothing but women, so that was my greatest impact. My father was incarcerated for most of my life, so by the time he did get out of jail, by that point, I was already confused in terms of my own sexuality. I didn't start experimenting with the same sex until about, I want to say, sophomore or junior year of high school. Don't make that face. I started experimenting around sophomore and junior year of high school, and at that point, it was kind of scary because I just still didn't know if this was a route that I wanted to take. Being that my family is very religious, I did not know if they would be accepted to it or if they would, be here for it at all. So I kind of kept it to myself. As society would look at it as being DL. That was for a while. And I still dated women, so that was, I guess, a cover up in a sense because I still had girlfriends. I was still sexually active with them. It wasn't until about, actually my freshman year last year at Morehouse, my first semester, where I decided that I didn't want to lie to my parents anymore. I didn't want nobody at home to keep believing that I was heterosexual. So I sent them a text, and basically I just sent a text saying, I have a boo and he attends Morehouse College. So when I sent that, at first it was kind of confusing, but for others, they picked it up pretty quickly. Like my friends who I already felt like they knew, so I didn't really have to explain too much to them. They already felt like they knew, so they were just like, well, who is he? Like, they went straight into it. They didn't really care too much about, oh my God, are you? As far as my parents are concerned, my mother, she didn't text me back, and then I sent her a text again, and she was like, wait, what do you mean? I don't get it. And I resent the same text I sent to her, and she was like, wait, at your school? I'm like, yeah. She was like, so it's a boy? I'm like, yeah. She's like, why not a girl? And I'm like, sis, because it's not. But it took her a long time to, you know, adjust to that. Like, she cried. My father claimed, you know, he couldn't sleep for days. So the norms of, you know, sexuality in itself played a big role in my in my experience of growing up, trying to live up to everybody else's potential and follow the norm that society placed upon me. But I realized that that's not something that I wanted to do of myself. So I decided to create a different path and follow the path that I want to, you know, pursue.
The trampling of feet rapidly scatter away into a faint distance. Gunshots make ears bend and shiver spines into shock. How scared do you get when your happiness sacrifices itself to make fear feel comfortable? Me and my friends are lions. Monarchs trying to control parts of the jungle we don't own. We make death our only obstacle in trying to claw our way to success. We have oracles in the form of elders, prophesying our future by our surroundings. Because we're always so curious of how buckshots howl and shake palm trees into anxiety, the sounds of agility when bodies are being bent nimble, learning how to be predator instead of prey. Until our lives are almost stripped away, machine gun heartbeats, conscious clip almost empty. Going hard is a careless, inbred mentality that almost got me and my friends killed. We are edged the thrones of concrete who just couldn't wait to be lion kings, crowding ourselves with spilled blood, unaware that we were only crucified by fate, driving down paths of anger and hatred like Scar, but never taught how to be strong and level-headed like Mufasa. I guess that's why our smiles were red and half-finished like fatherhood, quickly reverting to stern mean mugs as offense and defense until we've been pushed too far. Our mighty roars tested, pulling triggers, be our rites of passage into the animal kingdom until we had one pulled on us. So shocked, the Hakuna Matata be arthritis on your tongue. We stand together, using pride to remain fearless. I never want any of my friends to be trampled in a stampede of crossfire. Never having to put out liquor instead of tears. Never having to question the thin line between revenge and vengeance. See, gangsterism is our circle of life, but I don't want our punch to be summarized in an obituary to my friends. I don't want your sons to set before your sons had a chance to rise. Yes, the streets are a part of our family, who killed his own brother and found refuge in the exile of his nephew. Scars are all we have. We are more than just stop signs and sign language, more than signalized kingpins, more than signatures on a police officer's paycheck. We are lions, thoroughbred Napoleon leaders. We are not the streets onomatopoeia, but the voices that control the fate of our families, our friends, and ourselves. We are lions. We are kings.